Hey, Soul Fam. Psychic Gaming here. I think I'm live. I'm not real sure. There has been some changes in the last week with sharing from third-party platforms onto this platform. So give me just a second here. Let me know that you can see and hear me okay. Please give me a mic and sound check, and we will get this started in just a moment. It looks like everything's functioning like it should. So let's see. Again, give me just a second here and give me a mic and a video check, please. My name is Kimi Karanda. I'm a channel psychic and medium, and you have found me at my Facebook page, Psychic Kimi. My computer's acting a little funky. I thought we were out of Mercury in retrograde. For sure. Welcome to Cosmic Conversations. Every Sunday, we've been coming live with an amazing set of folks who are coming on to share their stories, have wonderful talks with all of us, give us things to learn, give us things to think about. And today is going to be no exception to this whatsoever. I have with me my beautiful friend, Mallory. We've known each other for some time now. Mallory is I think I'm going to say this wrong, so please, I'm going to ask her to correct me for sure when she pops on. But she is I think this is it, Usui Reiki master, a tarot reader, a clairvoyant, all around amazing healer. If you've never had a reading with Mallory, you should definitely have a reading with Mallory. She is just a terrific gal. Still waiting for somebody to give me a sound and video check, please. Again, there's been some changes to Facebook and streaming in the last couple of days, and I just want to make sure. Hi, Lorenzo. Okay, I'm assuming that you can see and hear me, or you'd let me know that I was just moving my lips so you couldn't hear anything. Let's see. Okay, just about ready here. There we go. Maybe. All right. So again, my name is Kimi Carranza. You have found me here at my social media Facebook page, Psychic Kimi. You can find me on many, many other platforms as well. Every Sunday for the last couple of months, I have come live and shared with you an amazing person from my circle, and today is no exception. Again, we have with us my beautiful friend, Mallory Hayden, Usui Reiki master, tarot reader, clairvoyant. It's always a good time when we get to have with Mallory. So without further ado, make sure you guys stay tuned to the end too. She's got a really beautiful thing that she's sharing with us. There we are.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. I think I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Everybody says they can
Awesome.
hear and see me. So if I can
Okay.
hear you, they can hear you. So
I hope so.
welcome, my beautiful friend. I probably did not give you justice. I know I didn't with your introduction. But I tried to give folks an idea of what an amazing clairvoyant and healer you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've personally experienced healings from you. I've referred folks over to you that have had wonderful healings with you. And so, without further ado, first of all, people should know I haven't seen you for years.
No.
That's okay.
Forever.
You haven't seen me either. So, you know,
Life,
um,
life is crazy. It's been wild, and just over the past few years, just even with the planetary transits alone, like in
oh my gosh.
astrology has been crazy. But no,
Remind
it's so
me,
good to see you.
it's good to see you. Remind you, you're Sagittarius too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so speaking of planetary changes, I just saw, do you know who Joni Patron is? She's an astrologist, pretty famous one.
No. Okay.
She's on YouTube, Patron, and she just did a reading about Jupiter moving into Sagittarius in our sixth house for the next year. And so for those of us that are Sagittarius sun signs, my Jupiter is in Sagittarius, I don't know about yours, we have
Yes.
got quite wonderful. We have got quite the comeback over the
Mhm.
next year. And she was saying that, again, Sagittarius, Suns, and Jupiters are going to have excellent careers the next 12 months, opportunities for love. And you know what else she said that was really funny? Because this is so relevant for me. She said, all of our pets will be healthy. And
Oh, good.
that's what I said. Oh God,
I
thank
cannot
you,
tell you, Jamie, like
astrology.
I have 9 pets now,
Oh,
and
good.
this
Oh,
past year, like, is one after the other, like ear infection, eye infection, UTI. I'm like, y'all are
oh,
like,
I know. We just
yeah.
had two bulging discs over here. So, and
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, my dog recovered and is doing pretty good. And the other thing she said, this is funny because you just said that. She said we can also expect to adopt a new pet.
I just adopted one in January. So, and like
Oh,
all of my
girl.
pets are older. So I had
Oh.
8 and I was like, I don't need to get any more. Like I'm done. Like, I mean, my oldest dog is 17 and my youngest pet is a bunny that's gonna be 5 this year. And that's like halfway through his lifespan. So they're all like halfway to like near end of their lifespan. So I was like, oh, I'm not getting any anymore. And I was talking about how I wanted a female orange kitten so bad
Oh,
on Christmas
rare. Yeah.
Day. And then 10 days later, a friend from high school posted of 2 female kittens to give away for free. And so I have one and she's going to be 6 months old. So it's a big age difference, but she's done really
Wow.
well.
Wow.
So
So today
yeah.
is actually my dog's birthday. She's
Oh,
10.
happy birthday to your dog.
Happy birthday, peanut butter. She's 10. And this is right around when the Great Danes passed away. They passed away weeks after their 10th birthday. And so like
Oh.
I have just been like really, I love on her all the time, but really just like, her name's really Gigi, but we call her peanut butter. We being me and everybody else in my home.
That's so cute.
I know. And so I was just, really like loving on her and being aware that she's hit a big milestone. She's still super active, full of spite. He hates the cat. And but here we are. And I have a feeling that another cat is going to find me. Maverick found me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling another one is going to just sort of find me over the next year. But you know what I've
That's
been really
exciting.
like, I know. I've been really interested in, but I can't see myself like having one. I've been really interested in birds lately.
Yeah, I will say, because I have had smaller birds before,
Yeah.
I would recommend getting a larger bird if you do.
Whoa, why? I wouldn't
Because
want
small
one if
birds
I
are
would get one.
very delicate. Like you can't wear perfume, you can't cook with Tefal
Oh,
pans, you can't like they're very
thank
fragile.
you.
There's a
Because
lot of things
girl,
you cannot do.
I burn incense every single day. So thank you for
Yeah, so
saying
that would
that.
not work for them. I don't
Maybe
know
a
so much
fish.
about large birds, but I'm pretty sure the
Mm,
larger bird species are a lot more like hardy compared to the
tolerant.
smaller. But yeah,
Yeah.
I loved having my birds, but they were very like it was one of those
Yeah.
things where I was like, I can't live my life the way that I
That's, thank you for sharing that
expect it.
then.
So
So I guess I'll just sort of love them from the internet and we'll see what the universe brings me by way of a new pet
well,
and
also
you.
too, depending like because you live in Fresno, right? Like I'm not sure about like the temperature there, but like you could maybe have like an outdoor like enclosure for them.
It
Like you
gets
could
hot here, girl.
oh
Over a
really
hundred
bad.
degrees Fahrenheit for over 100 days every summer. That's where we
Oh
live.
wow. Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
too much. So,
Yeah.
for those of us, KM says get a crow. So, let me just say this, KM. My grandmother used to give gifts to crows, and they would bring gifts to her. And I recently, in the last couple of years, I broke a mala. And so I have tons of little rose quartz beads, and I carry
Oh.
them around in the bottom of my purse. And when a crow is a little bit interactive with me, I give them a rose quartz bead.
Oh,
They
love
can friends
that.
with all the crows,
Yeah,
KM.
and feeding them too, like they're so awesome. There's so many benefits to like having wild crow colonies as your besties. They're super smart. So,
Super
yeah.
smart. And they have a really good memory and they like gifts.
Yes.
And I like gifts, so it should be good.
Yeah, literally relatable, right?
KM says her crow bought her $1. Okay, so tell me you have to teach me how to get my crows to bring me money.
I think I've seen a lot of stuff about like bringing money, and basically
Yes.
what I've obtained is like you feed them a lot and then you put money out where they see it. But then they're so smart, they'll actually steal money from people and bring it to you.
Great. So this is good. I'm going to go ahead and let that proceed as we're in the final days of spring here in Fresno, and we'll see. So I did a brief introduction of you, but let's do a fuller one. So this is my beautiful friend Mallory
Hello.
in cold Canada, but I love
Yeah.
it. And then I did a terrible job, I think, at pronouncing the type of Reiki that you practice, and I think
It's
do you teach? Tell.
Yes, I do. I practice and I teach. But it's like the traditional Usui Shiki Ryoho Reiki. So Dr. Usui, he's the original founder of Reiki. They do believe it's existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years before he actually recorded it, but
Mm.
he's supposedly the first one who actually recorded how to do it and kept track
Because
of
it's
that.
a Japan, say it Uzui, right? Is that what you said?
Usui, yeah.
Usui. It's a Japanese, it started and originated in
Mhm.
Japan, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
And there was a
Go
couple
ahead.
clinics and it was brought over to the US by one of his students or one of there was two men who Dr. Usui and he had another man helping him with the clinics and they taught a lady who brought it over overseas.
I happen to know a man here in Fresno. Hopefully he's still living. His name is Bill. So that's so
Hmm.
interesting you brought this up. This little sidebar conversation. He actually travels to Japan. He's American. He
Yeah.
travels to Japan and he teaches channeling.
Ooh, very cool.
And
Love
he
that.
has been in the, I know, he has been in the process of building a Buddhist temple himself and I've talked to him, we've exchanged books and I brought him like pickled, little, if I pickle some jalapenos, I'll leave it at the door.
Oh,
It's been a while. But
nice.
yeah, so he goes over there. So it's such an interesting like connection to spirituality that we have as Americans and the Japanese. I think that's where I was heading with that. Um,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, very
also a
cool.
medium, a clairvoyant, and a tarot
Yeah.
reader.
Yes. Yeah, I do a lot of tarot. I do
Mm.
house cleansings and mediumship readings now. So I've always had that gift since I was very young, but I leaned far, far away from it until about I think 2018 when I became a Reiki master is when I started feeling more comfortable about like addressing spirits because
Mm.
I finally learned how to protect myself well
Mm.
enough to be comfortable enough to do that. Plus, it's part of my job as a Reiki master to cross over spirits who get stuck in the in between. Um, so I cross them over into that peaceful light space. That's part of my job. So yeah, I do a lot more mediumship work now. And I really enjoy it. It's so fun. And yeah,
So fun. They're
it's
full of
very fulfilling.
stories. Like they are just full of
Yes.
stories. And most of the people that have passed that I have worked with are one, just bursting with love. And I don't know about you, but when I do a medium work or a medium reading for someone, like I feel the unconditional love from the person's loved one, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And the other thing that I've noticed, you'll have to tell me, I've noticed a couple of things about people that have passed over. One, they're usually pretty funny.
Oh,
Like
hilarious.
yeah,
Absolutely hilarious.
they are like they like to tell stories like from their human time that they thought was
Hmm.
funny. The other
Yes.
thing that I notice a lot is they do watch us. I
Oh,
do notice that.
100%.
Yeah, so people will always
Yeah.
ask like, is my loved one with me? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It may not
Yeah, they
always
do.
be with you because they have other people that they want to spend time with too, but they watch.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
they split their time depending on how big your family is. Like if there's not a lot of remaining family left, obviously they spend more time with you. But
Yeah.
for the most part, like I mean, what I've garnered from my info, like speaking
Yeah.
to spirits, like that light space, they can make it look however they want. So like they can create their childhood home, they can create the energy, shift the energy when they're in that peaceful place. But it's boring alone. And
Mhm.
so sometimes they get bored, they come down and they just check on people. Yeah, it's very interesting learning the information that I have over the years because, I have always felt them around, but I haven't felt comfortable enough to speak to them until the past, like 6 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really cool to learn about their journey on the other side and what they do.
Fascinating.
So,
Yeah, so to your point, I agree that their life over there is very much what they create. There was a movie back in the 90s called What Dreams May Come from
okay,
Robin Williams. And like if you want to get an idea, not all of that, and I think is true, but an idea of how
parts
what
of
it
it.
is like, absolutely you should watch that movie. Um,
Yeah. Okay, well.
yeah, it's very, very interesting and profound.
Mhm.
Um, let's see, there was something else you said, and I wanted to go back to it too because I thought it was funny. Ah, it's gone.
I will say too, another thing that
Okay.
I noticed about them is like, yes, they're hilarious, but some spirits will appear to me as like their older age if they passed away when they're older, but
Yeah.
some like to look at the way
Yeah.
that they felt the best in life.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they'll change how what they like
Yes.
were wearing and like their hairstyle and their age sometimes. And so
Yes.
I'll be describing them what they look like to me to my clients, and they're like, well, they didn't look like that like when they died. And I'm like, well, did they look like this when they were younger? And they're like, yeah, they actually.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's not always like it's up to the person, I guess, and their personality. Everybody is so different. And I find especially women like to, I don't know if it's like
Oh, to
that
come
social
younger.
conditioning for the, for women where they like to appear a little
Oh,
bit younger, but a lot of the times women do appear a bit
yeah.
younger for me.
I've
So,
noticed that sometimes people like to appear. So for those that are just joining us, this is my friend Mallory. Right now we're talking about people that have passed over. I'm sure we'll talk about other things as we go.
oh yes.
But so a couple of things that I've noticed too, I've noticed that they like to come not only when they liked their body the best, but sometimes when they felt their best in the body.
Yes.
And so every once in a while, I'll get someone that appears as a child. They're
Hmm.
not, they were an adult, but they loved being a child, or they didn't get enough time as a child, or to
Yeah.
be a child, and they want to be that. And so they'll appear like that too to me. Um, I one of my probably my favorite loved one to work with. I don't know about you. I love to work with grandmothers. People that
Oh, they're so funny.
people that were grandmothers when they passed over they're funny,
Hmm.
especially if they were sort of depression era grandmothers, or like my grandmother grew up in the depression. They're very like cut and dry, and just call it like
Yeah.
it. It's just funny to me. So I love
Yeah,
it.
that
And
because that's my sense of humor. Like I love
yeah.
when older people are like that. They're very cut and dry and very straight to the point. It cracks me
Yes.
up so much. But
Yes.
it's also so interesting too, because like I'm a very empathic person as well. Like I know you are too, and I'm sure in your mediumship readings, I don't know about you, but like sometimes it'll get emotional and I'll be crying as like the
Oh,
client's crying. We're just like blabbing, blubbering,
oh,
like
they're
it's
beautiful.
it's so fun though. Like I really do enjoy what I do, but I do limit myself a lot though since I just started professionally doing like only like strictly mediumship readings alone since like it's been a year. So I used to like read tarot cards and do tarot parties and stuff like that, and I'll do Reiki and I'll
Mhm.
have loved ones pop up. But I don't talk to them for very long because my main concern is with my client at that moment in time. And it's also very
Mhm.
draining. So I had to divide my time in order to be sure that I could continue to do my job and share
Mhm.
my energy with whoever was there with me, like my clients. But like now that I do strictly mediumship, I can only talk to them for about 45 minutes before like I'm down and out. I need to go in the house, take a nap for an hour,
Yeah,
or it has to be at the end of my day because like I'm done like
the same
after
for
that. And it
me.
doesn't, yeah, like, and for me too, like they can be so funny, you can be laughing so much, but like I say that spirits have like a dead energy and we have living energy.
That's
So
right.
like it clashes. So they could be amazing, like so funny, so loving, like so just wonderful, but our energies are very different. They clash
Mhm.
and one sucks the other. So that can be that's something that I'm learning to kind of gain strength on. I can only talk to them for a very short amount, like 45 minutes. That's it. So,
Yeah, for me, it's about 30 minutes. I prefer to do it at the
yeah.
end of my day too, because then I need to go to bed.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Literally. Well, that's
yes.
when I start feeling tired is around 30, 35 minutes and I just push through to
Really.
45 and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Oh
So,
no. And for me too, like when I've can no longer hold my energy, and I want to go back to your point about living in dead energy. Can
mhm.
no longer hold my energy. It just turns off. And I'll be like, you know
Oh,
what, y'all?
yeah.
I'm really sorry, but I just that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just totally done. The connection, it's like they hang up the phone, or I hang up the phone from the other side, or whatever's going on. The phone gets hung up,
Hmm.
a call is over, and it's time for me to go to sleep. So
I
you said,
totally get that.
yeah. So
Well, like for
yes.
me too, it's like almost like I understand exactly what you're talking about. For me, I feel like a fuzzy see-through sheet just drops between me and the person, and I'm trying to like reach through, and it's all
Oh,
fuzzy. So then I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
for me, I get so physically tired when I do a medium reading about 30 minutes that I can't function.
Oh yeah, that's
Like
what, well, that's, yeah, I get that too.
like I literally I can't function. I can't focus on my client. I can't function. And so
Mhm.
that's what happens to me. So the thing that I think I experience as far as vibrations and frequencies is I think that their frequencies are higher, really high, their vibration,
Hmm.
because they don't have a physical body. They're not limited.
No.
Our vibrations are really low. And my personal
Hmm.
opinion is in order to do a successful medium reading, they and us, excuse me, have
Have
to
to
meet
meet
each
each other in the
other.
middle.
Right. And so that means I have to have my vibration super duper duper high and they have to have theirs lower. And I can about 30 minutes is about all I can keep mine to
Yeah.
that level of high vibration to meet them. And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and sometimes they can't keep theirs in a lower enough vibration to meet me for very long either. And so
Yeah.
sometimes, it'll just be 10 minutes and I haven't figured out why. It doesn't seem to be tied to like how long they've been crossed over. It doesn't seem to be anything like that. They just hold as long
No.
as they can.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, like, because like I'll go into homes where there's like spirit activity, because that's part of my job, crossing spirits over. Any
Mhm.
spirit that is stuck, whether I know them or not, I don't need to know their life story. I fix it immediately. It only takes a couple minutes. I make sure that they're crossed over, they're at peace. But I do find like that there's like a lot of, oh, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I
Like
agree.
only being able to hold it for just a minute or a couple of
Oh,
minutes, like them and
yes,
us
it's
and them.
everybody's different. So everybody
Mhm.
has their own amount of energy. So some houses you'll see like spirits flickering lights or like opening drawers, or you'll feel like a physical touch. It takes so much energy for a spirit to do that, and that's actually abnormal. Like that's not common. So when we have loved ones come by, it's more usual that they'll visit us in dreams because that is more accessible.
Mhm.
Some people didn't have a lot of energy in life, so they don't have a lot of energy in death.
Mhm.
But it can also be the opposite. Maybe they didn't have a lot of energy in life and now they have a lot in death. It's just unique to the person. And it takes a lot of energy to communicate. And so it's kind of a blessing when you can even contact them. And I do
Yes.
notice that some spirits are like weaker than others,
Yep.
uh, where
One of
they just have a hard time connecting.
One of the things that I've seen, I don't know if you've seen this, and I haven't really talked about like my process as a medium, like what I experience. So I think this is a great conversation. I hope people are enjoying
Hmm.
this. One of the things that I've seen is when you have a spirit that's weaker or less skilled or whatever, and less energy at impacting the physical world, or even just less energy to come through, like if they can't quite make the connection with me, I will see. It's so strange. I will see almost like tandem spirits with them that are very strong and able to make the connection. They'll come with the loved one who can't, and they will like attach with each other and they become one like energy. And this bigger, not bigger, but more potent spirit in the moment helps I don't know if you've seen this, the lesser be able to connect
Hmm.
with me. And so they
That's
almost like
cool.
blend energy.
See, for me, like I don't see spirits in groups because I don't allow myself to. I'm very strict with who I let in. So
Okay.
when I do my mediumship, I ask specifically for the first and last name of whoever they want to talk to in whatever order, and I'll call them specifically. But if I can open it up and look, and I'll usually see groups of people with the one spirit, but I'm like, I don't want to open that up way too much because number one, like not all spirits have the highest intentions for
Hmm.
people, which is unfortunate, but just the truth. And number two, like I want to focus on who my client wants to speak to rather than allow my energy to be drained by a
Hmm.
bunch of, different people that maybe they're not interested in talking to. So, but that's very cool. And that it kind of reminds me of like mycelium and like fungi and stuff, how and like trees, how they feed each other, and like
Yeah.
fungus, how they
Yes.
feed each other in a lake. But
Yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
cool.
It's all like a web and a root.
Yes.
So, one of the things I think people would be very surprised to learn, and just for someone that's commenting, this will be saved. You can access and play this back anytime. One of the things that I think people would be unnerved to know is the amount of spirits that are around us all the time. It
Oh,
is
it's
like,
absolutely wild. Well, but you think about it, like this earth is however many years old, and there like you have millions, thousands of past lives sometimes, and like when your loved one passes away, they go into that light space and they meet literally everyone they've ever crossed paths with across all past lives, not even just this one. So you could have, like, I've met people, clients that come in, and it's just like they had like a sea of people. I couldn't even count them. It was just thousands of people standing behind the loved one I'm trying to talk to. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, well, that's like wild. But
Yeah.
sometimes people are very strong. They've lived thousands of past lives. They're very connected with the people that they've met. And maybe they've made deals, on the other side, and they ask for favors. And there's a lot of interconnection because I've seen that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, they all kind of mill around and hang out together. So that's why I'm very specific about who I speak to, one at a time, because I'm like, this is that's
Yeah,
a
so
lot.
I can only do one at a time also. And when I'm doing readings, I'll ask for the first name and then a photo of them because I'm
Okay.
clairvoyant. It helps me to
Mhm.
kind of like search the crowd of
Yes. Yeah.
people for who I'm looking for. The other thing that is a little bit scary for me when I do open myself up. So you have rules, and I try to have rules, but I get bamboozled a lot by people that are passed over all the time. They'll be like, well, what about me? And I'll have to be like, you need to go wait.
Oh
But
yeah, I get that too. But I
as a
don't let them through. I'm like, you wait in
I
line.
can't help it. I like I don't know that I can help it sometimes, but the
Mhm.
thing that I find also a little bit overwhelming for me as a medium is the amount of people that are always around me. And not
Yeah.
necessarily
See,
because they know me, but it's because they can see my light
oh
and
yeah.
know that I'm capable of meeting them
Hmm.
and relaying messages and stuff like that. The amount of people that cluster, the amount of souls that cluster around, it's not even behind us for me, around a medium all the time is astonishing, and it's a little
Yeah.
scary.
And for me, like I understand that totally, but it's also not a huge issue for me because I'm a Reiki master. I just cross them over. Like, so that's the thing. Like, I don't, I'm not always going to come across their family members and like have messages.
Mm-mm.
So I'll have spirits come into my home. I do allow some to come into my home. I'm very strict on protective work. I've done protective work longer than I have done like
For
Reiki and
sure.
mediumship. So my office here is like locked down tight. Nothing can get in here unless I allow it in here. And if it's very bad intentions, it stays outside. I'll still cross it over because that's my job. Like whoever it is, like, I don't, even if they have very dark energy, like they still need to be in a peaceful place because maybe they're causing problems for the living.
Yes.
But if I have a difficult or a darker spirit come by, usually that's my sign. Like, okay, they're ready to go into that light space, but I make them wait outside. Like, I do not let them into my space at all because it's just like
Mhm.
I have to protect my energy, and that's my number one goal
Mhm.
all day, every day. I'm always constantly
Yeah,
stones
same.
all over me.
Yep.
Is protecting my energy because this is my job, my only job now. I went from working six part-time jobs to just my business. Woohoo! But
Hey, that's a big
um,
deal.
it's uh, it's one of those things that is a main priority for me. And so I'm also very strict about the people I allow into my like day-to-day space as
Oh,
well. And even
mhm.
with clients, like as much as I love my small business, like I have to be strict about rules and like policies and stuff with my clients too, because I don't want to create any drama that's going to drain my energy, which impacts my other clientele. So, yeah, it's my
My
number one.
my energy rule is not in my bedroom. They are not
Mm-hmm.
because I work from home. You know what I mean?
Oh,
They're
yes, yeah,
everywhere. So my energy rule is not in the bedroom, and a lot of the time they abide by that. Every once in a
yeah,
while, somebody's got some balls and they will come into my room and scare the crap out of me. And that's the thing
yeah,
is that I also told them I don't want to be startled. Do not
yeah,
startle me. Do not. It makes me
yeah,
not want to do medium work if I'm scared. Um,
yeah,
yep. And then, oh my gosh. Oh, the other thing I wanted to ask you. So, you talked about lower vibrational spirits. And so my understanding, I would love to know if you have information on this too. So this is the other thing is like as mediums, I think we all get a lot of information individually, and I don't know that we always share it. Um, my understanding is that the longer spirits remain here without going and checking in wherever they gotta go, heaven, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
whatever their process is, the longer they remain here without going there, the lower their vibration becomes. And then we get things like poltergeists and
Yeah.
ugly things that
Yeah.
want to haunt us and taunt us and torment us
Yeah.
because the loved one has not gone and checked in to where they need to be.
That's 100% correct. And that's why I don't really enjoy like paranormal investigations and stuff like
Mhm.
that, where they just go into houses and they're just bugging. Because, like, the thing is, if a spirit gets stuck and then they're there for too long, what I
Mhm.
find is they get very confused. They forget who they are over time. They
Mhm.
forget that they're even dead. And they get very frustrated and very angry. And
Mhm.
then they may start small poltergeist movements,
Mhm.
but a normal person, that's going to terrify them, right? And then they're going to be scared, like whoever's living in the house, the living person,
Yeah,
and this energy or this spirit is going to feed off of that fear, and it's
yeah,
going to get stronger and stronger. It
sure.
just snowballs out of control. And
Absolutely.
so that's what I see a lot of the times is like I'll go into houses where there's drawers opening, stuff flying across the room, lights are flickering, they're being scratched, there's hearing
Yes.
growls, like they're seeing apparitions. And so I'll go in and
Legit.
like a lot of the time, like the spirit has no idea that they're even dead, or they're totally confused and they're just very frustrated. And if you think about it, like you'd probably be mad too if you had a bunch of strangers come into your house and move stuff around and ignore you because
For
they
sure.
think they're alive. So
Yeah,
they're
for
just
sure.
like trying to make a scene and be heard. And then, sometimes if they do know they've passed, it just depends on the person. Every single situation is so unique and different. So
Poltergeists
some
are a
some
real
spirits
thing. Yeah,
enjoy the torment, but
they
it's
do. Poltergeists are a
different for
real
everyone.
thing. If people have not experienced it, I have experienced it one time,
Oh,
and it
I've a
is
lot.
the worst thing in the world. I had it when I was 13, 12 or 13. It happens a lot with women or girls when they're just in that, very young stage of their cycles.
Hmm.
But it's a real thing. It's terrifying. It went on with me for years. My family used to make fun of it because my family, we could literally say to this ghost, whatever you want to call it, please turn the light on. And it would turn the light on.
Yeah.
We could literally say, please close the door, and the door would close immediately. So we knew,
Yeah.
we all were aware of it, but what was happening to me is at night, my room was downstairs, everybody else's room was upstairs. I could hear walking up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs,
Hmm.
scratching inside of
Yep.
the walls right by my bed,
Hmm.
a lot of tapping on the windows, a lot of knocking, uh,
Yeah.
a lot of talking, a lot of mumbling. I've
Hmm.
had things fly off the shelves before, things just spontaneously fly and break. Like it is
Yeah.
a real thing. It's not a joke, So
Yeah.
I think people that have not experienced having any kind of poltergeist, count yourself lucky. It is
Yeah,
intense.
it's very scary, and there's different levels to it. And like
Oh,
a lot of people think poltergeists are like demon activity, but that's not true. At
mhm.
least not at all in my case. It's a lot of the times just human spirits that have fed off
Yeah,
of fear for so long.
yeah.
But yeah, like for me, I don't fear that at
Mm.
all anymore because of my ability to cross them over. Like if I go in there and I'm doing Reiki, I've had full grown adult spirits run from me,
Mm.
and which is kind of hysterical, a little bit because usually they're picking on children in the house. Most of my clients have young children that are being
Mm.
preyed on, and
Yeah.
that's my biggest pet peeve. I do not tolerate that at all. But I'm like I'm not afraid at all because I know that it's going to be a losing fight for them. Like,
Well, good for
so
you. I think
I've seen a
so.
lot of things that should
Yeah.
scare most people to death, but for me, like it does not even phase me at all anymore. It's such a normal day-to-day thing. But it is very startling for someone who, if someone just moves into a house and all of this starts up, like
Yeah.
that's terrifying. Like
That's what
absolutely
happened.
terrifying.
Yeah, that's what happened with us.
So,
So we, when I was about 12, we moved from one home into another, and the home that we moved into, a little old lady lived in by herself, and her husband was a contractor. He handpicked all of the materials, and he never got to stay in the house, not one night, because he went into the hospital and then died. And so it was
oh, that's so
him.
sad.
We knew who it was the whole
Yeah.
time. It's so interesting because I felt like it was very like angry at me, like not because I'd done anything, but just wanted to torment the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Even though I don't, in life, he sounded like a really loving man, but
Well, there's frustrations, like,
totally,
there's resentment not being able to be in a place that's
totally.
you wanted to be in, right? So,
Totally. So yeah, so my little 12-year-old self like crossed him over, but I've only done
yeah.
that one other time. It's not my favorite thing to do. I have been
Hmm.
thinking about off and on, I play with the idea of doing paranormal stuff. There's a couple of paranormal investigator places here in the
Hmm.
valley where I live. And so I thought, oh, that would be a crack to go out and do stuff like that with them. And especially if I don't tell them who I am. I just think it's funny sometimes
Yeah.
to not tell people who I am.
I
Uh,
literally think about that all the time. I'm like, I was like, I wonder what would happen if I like went into these famously haunted places and I just crossed all the spirits over. There's
bam.
nothing left. Because
That's what I'm
like for me, I'm
saying.
like they're stuck there. Like I feel bad. Like I want them to be at peace, but it
Oh, I
is
wouldn't
cool,
cross them over.
to
I would
see
just be
them.
like, so and so said this, so and so, look at there's that person over there. Like I would just be like,
Yeah, literally.
because I'm not a crosser over person. My friend
Yeah,
Joanne does shaman work, and she every single morning before she gets up spends 10 minutes crossing people over that she finds
yeah,
out in the ethers. That's her job too. So
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so still thinking about it. There are some haunted places. So before my sister died, we had made this decision that we wanted to spend every Halloween in a haunted place. I mean,
Mm.
historically people talk about it, like it's been reported over and over and over again. And there was this place here in Fresno called Wolf Manor. And it's about 6 miles from where I live right now. They tore
Even
it
that
down.
sounds spooky.
It was on
Wolf
like it was
Manor.
on TV. It's been on TV. Like it's a thing. And she and I went, and it was just the most terrifying incident ever again. And it made me very like gun shy about doing any kind of like
Oh
paranormal
yeah,
investigations because
yeah,
it terrified me because it was
yeah.
a former psychiatric ward that housed female inmates. And the legend is, who knows if it's true,
Yeah.
that when the inmates would talk back or sass them, they would cut their tongues out.
Oh, that's
And
so
so
sad.
it was really, really gnarly energy in there. And so it's kind of,
Yeah.
uh, and it's such gnarly energy that one, it's been investigated, it's been on TV on like ghost hunters and shit like that.
Hmm.
But they tore it down.
Oh, yeah. Which I mean, there's like, if you tear down a space, those spirits are just going to disperse in the area. They're not
Pretty sure they
gone.
put a
They're just
Costco
like
on it.
nearby,
Yeah, I think they put a
usually.
Costco there. I'll have to head out that way, maybe tomorrow. It's not very far, but I'm pretty sure
A
they put
haunted
A
Costco. Oh
Costco.
my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
think
I
about
find that like
all of the
it's
people and
difficult.
all of the dead people. Like there's just people right in
Yeah.
that little piece of land. So,
Yeah. But I
anyways,
find it's very interesting, like my like psychiatric issues, the hardest that I have found, like communicating with spirits, like sometimes I'll come across spirits who had like Alzheimer's or dementia and they get stuck. And so they're older and they're very confused. And those break my heart because it's very hard to communicate with them because even in death they don't fully understand what's going on. But yeah, like anything psychiatric, if they're dealing mentally with something in life, sometimes it will carry over into death. It just depends on the person. Not everyone who deals with those things gets stuck. But sometimes it does happen and yeah, it's very scattered. Like even just trying to get into their energy to communicate, it's very scattered, very chaotic and it's I have a lot of emotions going into spaces in general.
Mhm.
But especially those cases, they really tear at my heartstrings a little bit. So,
So I don't know about you, to pivot just a little bit, but I use my mediumship abilities, and I don't tell people this. People naturally find me once or twice a year to do it, and they'll be like, "Can you do this?" I use my mediumship abilities, the same kind of meeting of vibrations, to work with people that are alive with Alzheimer's. And I also work with people
yeah.
that are not able to communicate, they can't speak, they're whatever. I've worked with a couple, not many, people in a
Mm.
coma very successfully. And in fact, one of the persons came out of the coma and said to their mother, there was a blonde woman there with glasses and she was talking about blah blah blah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting thing. I use that same kind of gift
Mm-hmm.
for them to talk with people that are living that can't talk too.
Yeah, so I do the same thing mostly with my Reiki.
Hmm.
But so I've done like Reiki for people in palliative care. And also too, the
Mhm.
thing is like we have a physical soul and a spiritual soul, and sometimes our spiritual soul will wander when we're still alive.
Yes.
And so I've seen spirits that I thought were dead people and it was living people, and they
Yes.
maybe were just so lonely that their spirit decides to wander. But I also do pet Reiki, so I communicate with pets as well, and they'll tell me a bunch of information too. So that's very fun. But it's very interesting, like you know, speaking to people who have difficulties. And yeah, I have like done Reiki for people, like I said, in comas and palliative care, and like making sure that they're okay
Yeah.
is my biggest
It's the
thing.
wildest stuff too. Like I did a reading, or not even reading, I guess I don't know what you would want to call it, a contact with a young man who was completely disabled, completely.
Yeah.
And he had told me about not liking the nurse, wanting a different book to be read to him, that he lost his sunglasses or he wanted a new pair of sunglasses and he wanted to be outside. And the family had
Hmm.
all said, man, we just got a brand new nurse last week. And so they changed the nurse. They changed the book they were reading him to. They bought him a pair of sunglasses. And this was the most beautiful thing. They had a party and they brought him outside. And all of the
Hmm.
relatives came and they video called me and they passed me
Oh.
around, and it was the most beautiful thing to witness this
Hmm.
man who's been stuck inside and just the joy he was radiating in the family too. So it's all beautiful, tender work when you get to work with someone that
Oh,
communicates
so much so.
tender and is on the other side. So I want to pivot just a little bit too. So you also do tarot readings, and I know that you
Yeah.
wanted to do a little bit of tarot reading for folks. And so in about 2 or 3 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought we might get started. So, for those of that are watching, Miss Mallory and I, if you would like a tarot reading, please say so in the comments, and I'm going to read off names of Mallory, and whoever she's called to is who she's called to. But what a
Yeah.
blessing to have this. Your tarot readings that you do in parties was one of the reasons that I was inspired to do parties too. And so I do
Yeah.
secondary parties. And it is such an amazing experience to have a room full
So
of
fun.
people. Oh, so fun, especially if they're all friends, and especially
Yes.
when things come out that like only one or two friends know, and now everybody knows.
Hmm.
It's a
I
whole
literally just had one last night with my girl pals. Like
like,
one of my friends, two of my friends that I'm close with, and then a few that I didn't know. It was a friend who was holding it, and it was so fun because they're like, "Oh well, we know what that's mean,
oh,
like
well,
what that
sure,
means, like we know what
right?
that's." I
And we
love,
don't
I
know
love
about it, but
doing
they know
parties.
about it. And it's
Yeah,
such a fun thing to do a
yeah.
party. I also did a party. The very first one that I did 2 Christmases ago was with a group of girls, women, and it was very like heartfelt. It was very like, I mean, they cried, and it was a very like healing. It wasn't just time to
Oh
spill the
yeah,
tea, but there was a very
yeah.
healing opportunities for this group of women that had come together. So Miss Kim is saying that she would like a reading. I don't know if you want to start to transition over into that.
Sure. And I'm only
Um,
going to do like because I do want to try to give like readings to quite a few people because I know like we only have a certain amount of time. So I'm
yeah.
just doing like mini readings tonight. I'm gonna do like probably like a 3 card past, present, future with an empowerment card and an oracle card for clarification just to kind of
Okay.
but if there's like questions that they want, like it's not going to be super clarified because I only have 3 cards reading because usually I do like 10 plus. But if there's like anything in general that people want to ask too, or just like what they want the universe to tell them, a lot of people just ask me like, what does the universe want me to know right now? And so I don't even know what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
So
I'll do.
selfishly, I don't know if this is okay. I've not ever done this, but I would love to ask at the end, if you feel like
Hmm.
it. Selfishly, I would love to ask a question because I have a very
Yeah.
interesting week ahead that you'll
Yeah.
resonate with also. So, Kim, I'm just going to name some names. You tell me who you're drawn to. Kim, Lisa, Ariel, Joan, Lorenzo. Anybody in there?
Ooh. I'm definitely feeling Kim and Ariel's and Lorenzo's
Okay, very good.
for me.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Kim. And was there any like questions or was it just like give me a reading, please?
Kim is saying, please, just in fact,
Okay,
all of them
perfect.
are
Let's see
just
with
all of these
Kim.
are general, whatever the universe wants me to know. And yeah.
Oh, love this for Kim. Um,
Love
and
everything
I
for
have
Kim.
so many decks. Like I don't know if you can see behind me, like, but
Oh my
um,
golly, you got a collection
I
going.
usually get my clients to choose,
Oh,
but we only have limited time, so I'll choose four for
okay.
Kim. So Kim, I already pulled out your tarot cards. I'm gonna pull out your empowerment message. It's know your worth.
Mm,
So that's your theme of this situation. I do see in the past for you, Kim, that it's been very cyclical how you valued yourself and your emotional happiness, which is valid, totally understandable. I feel like a lot of us go through those cycles. Some days are better than others. You may have like struggled with seasonal depression or just depressive moments in your life that have kind of tore down your confidence. I'm hearing negative self-talk, so that could be something that is very
mm,
persistent for you, but in cycles. So think
mm,
about like maybe in the winter it's worse and then summer's better or opposite. I think right now you are focusing on your emotional stability. If you have a family or kids or like pets, anyone who's dependent on you, I think that's where your focus is right now. But I do feel you've been giving a lot to those people, which is not a bad thing. I think it makes you feel good. But it's also really important to remember that it's good to focus on yourself too and give yourself that self-care.
mm,
Because I do see in the next up to 2 months, your ability for self-love, unlimited self-love, is going to be overflowing for you with the Ace of Cups. So you had the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Cups, and then the Ace of Cups for your past, present, and your future, which are really good cards.
yeah.
I just think I think you're learning how to accept yourself, Kim, for everything, you know, that comes along in life. Because sometimes, like I said, we speak negatively about ourselves and then we feel down on ourselves and shameful that we even thought those things. You're starting to become more accepting towards the idea that just because you think those things doesn't make them reality, and you're not as hard on yourself as much for thinking those things. It's just more of like a passing thought, like, okay, I thought that, that's okay, I'm letting that go, I'm going to love myself unconditionally. So knowing your worth is a huge thing for you right now, and increasing your ability for that self-love. I also felt really drawn to the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck for you, Kim. And I always read out of the guidebook for this one. It's by Amanda Lovelace because I love this so much. I usually don't read out of guidebooks for my Oracle decks, but for this one, I always have to,
Mm,
just because it's my favorite. So, Kim, you have Spaceship. Don't be afraid to sing. And there's like little mermaids in space. Um, and they're floating around and enjoying their space. Spaceship, don't be afraid to sing. You've been made to believe that your voice, that your unique point of view in this world isn't worth very much. Let me tell you, that couldn't be farther from the truth. Your words are worth all of the stars in the night sky, so don't forget to sing whenever you have the chance. Your voice is powerful enough to sink a dozen spaceships. So that is for you, Kim, and that goes back into know your worth. So that's why I love
definitely.
these cards. They tie in so nicely to
They're
each
really
other.
beautiful too. Kim, let us know if that resonates. I think up next you were drawn to Ariel.
Yeah, yeah. So for Ariel, let's see. And
Mm,
I'm gonna pull Ariel's empowerment card to see the theme of her reading. Be you, do you, for you.
mm,
Love that.
mm.
I'm gonna do, let's see. For Ariel, ooh, big ones for Ariel in the future here. I do see in the past, Ariel, you've been really focusing on the bigger picture. I think you've been very logical, maybe excluding your emotions a little bit more than you should be, which isn't you do whatever is necessary to get you through the
Mm,
day, but there's been a lot of transformative energy in the past for you here with the King of Swords. The King of Swords is very logic minded, very focused on the future. They're a good judge of character, but they're not very connected to their emotions. um and I do see that now in the present you have the Ace of Wands, so there could be a new creative beginning for you. There's something that's sparking that creativity, your inspiration. It's a lot of growth that is happening, but it's a lot of fun. The wands are great for expression, they're great for fun. And it's very interesting because I do see over the next up to 2 months, you have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, not everybody's favorite. I'm not gonna lie, but for me, I'm really picking up on you leaving behind beliefs and ideas and people and things that no longer serve you well. If there is people around you who are influencing you in a negative way and you're not thinking about yourself and you're feeling not confident because these people have certain opinions and beliefs, like, and you're absorbing that, you're kind of walking away and abandoning that situation over the next 2 months. So yeah, I do feel like a clicky energy. There could be people around you who are just kind of clicky. They make you feel a little bit excluded sometimes in the way that they speak to you. And maybe you've just grown apart. So, Ariel, just be mindful over the next 2 months to give yourself some grace and compassion, because sometimes when you outgrow people, you do have to leave certain situations behind. And this is not even just people either. It's, like I said, beliefs and ideas, and sometimes actual situations. You have to leave those things behind because it's holding you back from your growth. And like your empowerment card said, it's all about being you and doing you for you, not for anyone else. I want to see for Ariel, I've got my Sacred Travelers Oracle that's calling out to me. So let's see some clarification for you. Voyage of the heart, love flows through you and to you. And you have one more actually that's calling out. Answering the call, the time is now. So this is something that maybe you've been procrastinating on. But I will say love is a lot of the time the purpose and the reason for our lifetimes on earth, is to be called to distribute love and light into the world, especially now. Most children that I come across now are earth angels or healers or volunteers. You know, they are here to raise the vibration of the earth because it's gotten so out of whack. And I will say, loving yourself is number one, but also two, being loving can include walking away from people so that they can learn their lessons by not having you in their life anymore. So just keep that in mind. Like, you don't always feel like you're being loving because you're like piecing out on people, but you know, sometimes that's a loving thing to do. Sometimes people have to learn their lessons on their own, and we can't take over that for them. So just keep that in mind, Ariel. So that's for you, and I hope that resonates for
Yeah, Ariel, let
you.
us know. Kim said that you nailed it, and deeply appreciative. So next up we have Lorenzo.
Oh, okay. Let's see, Lorenzo. I love that name too.
Yeah.
Let's see, Lorenzo, for you. Oh, and I'm gonna do your empowerment card first. Can't forget that. That's a new thing that I'm doing, is pulling empowerment cards and mantra cards before I start my readings. And I've only been doing it for the past like month, so I'm still getting in the swing of things. You already have what it takes, Lorenzo. You already have what it takes. All right, so let's see your past, present, and future in regards to this. Interesting. Love that. Again, really good cards. So, Lorenzo, I see in the past that you've been really focused on keeping your life in order and creating a balance in your life. I do see that there may have been a situation in the far past where you had like a behavioral trait of feeling the need to like control things to the point where you were restricting or self-sabotaging yourself from doing things that you actually wanted. But I do think you have grown out of that, and that evolved into having more control over your life in order, but a healthier control. So I'm seeing far past for you into like nearer past. So I do see that you are working out that, you know, that fear of like letting go and like allowing yourself to be as big or as like, you know, I guess as big as you can be, if that makes sense, is what I'm hearing. In the present moment, you have the Knight of Swords, which really is call to action, like taking action, just jumping into it. If there's something that you've been wanting to do and you're just like thinking back all those years ago about like, oh, like I I still feel those beliefs and ideas. Like I still don't think I can do it. You've grown a lot, and I think it's really important to accept that you've grown because those really don't belong in your life anymore. I think it's just being triggered and in the moment now is like throwing you back into that far past energy. So right now the universe is calling you to action and saying, it's you need to cut ties with that belief and idea from the far past and know and have faith that you do have your ish together. Like you are able to jump into this endeavor because over the next up to 2 months, when you take action, this is going to be totally emotionally fulfilling for you. You have the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is a beautiful card. This is like what you wish for and then some. So a lot of emotional fulfillment and happiness. I think it's just jumping in and, thinking about the technicalities later a little bit because like your card says, it's you already have what it takes. I think the only thing that's holding you back is just those very very expired older beliefs and ideas, and sometimes too that comes with societal beliefs, what your parents taught you, cultural, religious. I'm not sure your situation, but those beliefs don't belong to you anymore. So allow those to kind of exit your mind, your body, and flow back into the universe where they can be recycled and, cleared out. Because for you, I think that's the best thing you can do is take action on what you want to do. And it's not being impulsive. It's time. And it's going to bring a lot of happiness into your life. So let's see, Lorenzo. Some more clarification. Yeah, literally. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Some of my cards like to fly. Depends on the deck. So I don't know if you caught that or not, but it just flipped itself out. Meditate and contemplate as well, Lorenzo, because again, like I said, there's a lot of things that need to be flushed out of your life. It doesn't belong there anymore, just like beliefs and ideas. So in order to really untangle that, you do have to take time to meditate and contemplate and think on that. But that end of the tough cycle does approach for you. So look forward to the future because it's really, really good. I love these readings so far. They've been really positive. I'm a very honest reader, so I will tell people if there's anything negative that comes out, but I never like to leave my clients with just like a negative answer. I always give them a way to either avoid it completely or to get through it the easiest. But it always makes me happy to give good readings, like happy readings.
Too. We are such Sagittariuses in that. Like, I hate being the
Yeah,
bearer of bad news. In fact, one of the things I tell Spirit is don't bring me people with bad news. Like, I hate it. I will,
literally.
I'll tell them, but don't bring it. So, Ariel is saying absolutely resonates very much. Stepping into yourself, transforming a lot of things with excitement. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Lorenzo, let us know how that resonated. We're almost out of time, but if I could beg you for a reading for myself, I never, ever, ever, ever ask. And you know that.
Yes,
Ever, ever,
I
ever,
would love
ever,
to
ever,
do a
ever
reading for
ask.
Miss Katie.
Would you like to know? I have two things and or am open to anything. I would.
Whatever, let me know.
Okay, so I think this is, because I know about 4 weeks ago, I did some very intensive work to let go of my twin. And in the same breath, I asked for a soul partner. And I would just like
Mm-hmm.
anything that you pick up on that.
Ooh,
I know.
yeah, I'm
I
excited
know.
about that. Okay,
I know.
so I want to get an empowerment card for you as well. Too glam to give a damn. That's so funny.
I have been making myself look at. I put a necklace on.
Yes, queen, we love to see it.
We're working on it. Mm.
And so let's see your soul part, your soul flame. Oh, you have the Two of Cups right away, which is the soulmate card. So that's
That's good
amazing.
because I have been asking, saying, I want a soul partner. I want a soul mate. We are done with the twin flame journey here. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
And hello in the same breath.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
I do see that you have been like very on guard so about this, but it's because of the past situation. You're definitely not accepting any immaturity. I do see somebody coming in within the next up to 6 months.
Well,
100%. This is like the when pigs fly card, like opening up your heart with a page of cups. But I will give you a warning if you're dating, in the next 2 months, you're gonna have someone who is not your soul connection, very narcissistic. It's a
Wow.
test, which is so shitty. Like I
That's
hate that
okay.
the
We're gonna
universe
pass
does
this
that, right?
time. We're passing
It's
this
like,
time.
yeah, literally. So this is a very narcissistic person,
Mhm.
someone who's like lying, stealing, cheating, manipulating. So if you're dating, I don't think you're dating currently at the moment, like
I'm
not
not.
seriously, at least you're very on guard.
I'm not at
Um,
all.
but over the next 2 months, there could be someone who approaches you and the universe is saying don't tell them more than they need to know because they may like just absorb that so that they can give you the answers you want to hear and it's not actually true.
Yeah.
But I do see the universe is sending you that unconditional love with the Ace of Cups as your outside influence, and you may meet someone through either friends or they may like become a friend first over the next 6 months. But this is like friends, family, community. So again, it could even be like you're through work or through your spiritual
Y'all,
community.
all 75,000 followers, if you're listening to this, friends, family, and community, come through. Your girl's single.
Girl, same. Hook me up.
Come through. Yes.
Actually, do you know what? I do astrocartography,
Oh,
and apparently my soulmate is somewhere in California. So, okay, man, I might just have to come visit.
come through. It's
But
time to hook a sister up on everything this year.
yeah, we'll just be each other's wing people. But yeah, I do see someone coming in. It's new, but it is a full cycle, so it's going to be a long-term thing. And it's definitely something that's so interesting. Is easy to fit into your life, but is very different to what you've experienced before. So that's not a bad thing necessarily. The more you energy and love that you pour into this, the more you're going to get out of it. So
I
love
love that you
that.
just said that because one of the things that I've been weighing as I'm talking to people, I haven't met anybody, I'm talking to people, is being able to fit them into my life. That is one of the
Yeah.
things I've been thinking, and being able, because they all have different stuff, whether there's kids or exes or jobs or travel or whatever it is. And then I've got my
Yeah.
stuff. And so that's been just in the last couple of days a really serious focus of mine. Like that's really important. And so I'm going to take that as a sign from you when it's easy to
Mhm.
fit this person into my life.
Yeah. And I will say too, with your energy, you had the strength card, which is funny because I saw like you posted a thing the other day and it was like a Leo like quote. And I know you're a Sag, but the strength card is represented by like Leo. It's a lion and the strength card, right? So it's very interesting because that's the energy you're in right now. And then you were also posting about that.
Oh yeah. Girl, I'm a Leo rising, 0 degrees.
Oh,
I mean,
love
you can
that.
get more
Yes,
Leo
I know
rising
I
than
think you
me.
are. Are you a Capricorn moon?
Yes, I'm a Capricorn moon
Okay, yeah.
also, which is why the walls are up, and you know what I'm saying. It's like,
Girl, same. I have like such crazy placements that are so contradictory. Like I have a Sagittarius sun, Gemini moon, and Aries rising, but I'm a Scorpio Venus, which goes against
oh
everything my Sag. And
wow.
then I'm
Yeah.
also a Sagittarius Mercury and a Virgo Mars. So I'm very like critical. I'm just like, are you gonna like it's very hard for people to pass my tests and get through my walls because I'm like very aware of not only myself but others.
Would
So
you say your Mercury was?
Sag.
So my Mercury is Scorpio, and I think that's part of why I'm psychic or gifted is in that kind
Mm-hmm.
of way. And then my Venus is also Capricorn, and so I've got like this
Mm-hmm.
double damned. But you know what? Just as we started this conversation with Jupiter in the sixth house, blessing everything, my Moon, my Venus, and my North Node are in the sixth house, which means the next 12
Love
months.
that.
Hopefully, I'm gonna have some, again, everybody's listening. I'm gonna have blessings in love, romance, and working out North Node, which is
Mhm.
South Node is past lives, right? And there's North Node
Yes.
past lives. Uh-huh.
North knows your future. Yeah.
It's all coming in.
Yeah. Ooh, that's exciting. And I want to get one more card for you.
Okay,
This is
thank
my affirmators
you.
love and relationship stack. It's calling out to me for you. Wisdom. With every relationship, I gain invaluable wisdom. I'm continually learning which qualities stimulate, support, and inspire me, and which ones make me want to cram a soup spoon into my ear and turn it slowly. In that sense, even failed relationships are actually successes. See how wise I sound?
I love that. I tell people as I like, because men will ask me what you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that I tell people, like, one of the keys to my heart is to teach me things.
Oh, 100% same. Well, we're Sagittarius. We're the
Good.
teachers. We're the philosophers. If you are not
Always.
giving me facts and information, I'm like, bye. Like, like
Right. If we
that's
can't, if
so
we're not
boring.
growing and anything like that, if you can
Yeah.
teach me things, ooh,
I love that. Love that. And you
definitely.
also have celebration. When I come across people in happy, healthy relationships, I give jealousy the finger and I celebrate their joy. When I do so, I'm rooting for the good guys, which means that I'm a good guy, and that means all of us win. Who wants to celebrate? I do
Amen.
think there is celebrations to be called for, and that goes back to like manifesting, like keeping positive thoughts and bringing good things in, because I think you are like wishing and hoping right now,
Oh,
which is
girl,
good.
I've started having conversations. I know my person's out there, and I believe really
Yes.
strongly. I manifested my twin literally
Hmm.
and have manifested every step of the way with it. So I know there's a karmic person out there for me, a lovely soulmate, and I've begun
Hmm.
talking to them. And so, correct. And so, if and this is, even like if I'm on the struggle bus that day, I'll be like, hey, this is happening. And, really need your support. Excited, looking forward to you coming into my life, just stuff like that. And I really think that makes a big difference if you are actively working on calling in a soul partner, is to start
Yeah.
talking to them now.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And then you also have levity. Laughter is the best legal medicine, and it looks like it's time for you to take a sweet, sweet hit of it. When someone annoys you or a plan goes awry, try finding something funny in there. And if you ever feel like the butt of the joke, remember that the only difference between someone laughing at you and someone laughing with you is that in the first version, you're not laughing. You always have the option, so opt to lighten up. It's legal in almost 200 countries. And I think that's calling to your Capricorn placements.
Oh,
Like
of course it
100%.
is. Of course
Because
it
Capricorn's ruled
is.
by Saturn. Saturn's such a grumpy old man energy, you
Or
know?
I got
Like,
Saturn in my 12th house too. In
oh my gosh, which is,
in
yeah, right
Gemini.
at home.
It's right at home where it
Yeah.
belongs. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Mallory, speaking of thank you so much for
Oh
coming
my gosh,
today
thank
and
you for
like
having me. It's been so fun. We'll have to
sharing
chat
your
sooner.
we
Sooner than
should
later.
for sure. And it's okay. Like I know that you didn't love me any less, and I didn't love you any less,
Yes.
even though time
Yes.
goes by. You and I have always been very soul sistery, and I just always love when I get a chance to catch up with you. So thank you for doing just that
Yeah.
today and for sharing
I
your
don't
specialness.
Thank you. Yeah, because I think how many years have we been friends? Like I think I was like I've been around since you only had like 3,000 followers, I think.
Yeah, I think
Like
you and I met at least
because it was through the Soul
three or
Sister.
four, I think 4 years ago. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
through
four or
that.
even maybe five.
Maybe. I mean, definitely since I've been here in Fresno, you've been in my life. Which is interesting because around then is when I start wanting to call in a soul family too, is when I came here and
Hmm.
settled down more.
Yeah.
And definitely my soul family appeared. And thank you for being a part of it.
It's so good. And so it makes me so happy to see how much you've grown, like, and
Thank
you
you.
know, how many people you've and lives you've like touched with your light and your gift. And oh, it's just I love it.
Thank
It's such a
you.
pleasure to know you, Katie.
Same girl. Thanks for being a part of my life. Thanks for coming on today. I've let everybody know several times where they can reach you at. Y'all go get a private reading with Mallory. She is just
Yeah.
bees and knees.
Yeah, and I also do like because I have my business page on Facebook, but I'm
Yes.
also part of a tarot learning and reading group, and it's a private group. I think it's called Tarot Reading and Learning, and then it has a few emojis. You can join the group. There's about 80,000 people. I'm an approved gold reader 4400. So if people want to join that group and see me posting if I'm available, they can get readings there as well.
Awesome.
But yeah, like I do distance readings. Like I have clients in South America, North America, Europe, UK. So yeah,
Energy
I've grown
knows
a
no
lot,
bounds,
which is
right?
really
It knows
fun.
no boundaries. So, well, I'm going to
Yes.
dip you back into the waiting room and I'll keep pop for the evening. Thank you again so much
Perfect.
for
Thank you so much, Kami. I
sharing.
hope you have a great night. It's so good to see you.
I love you. Y'all
Love
hook
you
Mallory up
too.
with a
You
wonderful
take care.
man. Okay.
Bye.
Wasn't she just the best? I've known Mallory for many years, as we said, and I've been so blessed with having received healings myself from her. Readings, as you just saw, we're in for a heck of a year, apparently. And yeah, so thank you to Mallory for coming. Everybody, I've posted her page several times. Make sure you go over, give her a follow, anything like that. Next week, I've got somebody super special too on the 12th of May at about 4 p.m. I have my very good friend, Nisha Riley. She is an intuitive person. She does readings and she's actually a therapist, believe it or not. She and I have some wonderful conversations. I don't think we've decided on a topic yet, but I tell you what, whenever that girl and I get together, we laugh a lot and we talk a lot about relationships. So again, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's sure to be a wonderful time, just like we've had with everybody here. So thank you again so much for coming. See y'all Wednesday at 5 o'clock for free psychic readings. Next Sunday for Nisha, the Sunday after that for Andrea. And guess what, guys? That wraps up our series. So we've made it. Can you believe that? Lots of love for all of you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.